Hello and welcome to the Amazon Weekly News Digest for Wednesday, September the 4th. Today I'm going to be talking through a few news items that have come in over the last week, as well as my take on what it means for brands. So first of all, Target slows its marketplace role. I was pretty excited when Target launched their new marketplace, Target Plus, a couple of months ago. For the reason that they were testing a decidedly different approach compared with Amazon. They were only allowing curated brands in. They were reaching out to the brands that they wanted to add to the marketplace rather than the seeming free-for-all that exists on the Amazon marketplace with its 5 million sellers. So Target Plus launched a few months ago, but with 30 brands. And today, according to Marketplace Pulse, which is a research firm, there's only 55 brands on the platform. So it has not really grown, at least from a selection standpoint, very much. But looking at Target's overall growth, it appears that they may not need the marketplace after all. Its CEO described Target stores as quickly becoming the preferred fulfillment choices for our guests, and all products sold on Target Plus are not fulfilled or available in stores. So Target itself is doing very well. Target Plus may not be growing at the rate that I certainly expected it to, and what that means for brands is sadly one less option if you wanted to diversify your marketplace presence. The next news item, aggressive Amazon tactic pushes you to consider its own brand before you click buy. So you probably saw this expose from the Washington Post or other publications that picked it up last week, but if you didn't, basically Amazon created a unique ad placement for its own private label products right above the buy box. And so for brands that have been affected by Amazon's private label efforts, this appears to be particularly egregious because of the significance of where the ads are located, right where the customer is ready to buy. And in some cases, a brand may have even paid for that customer to come to their page using PPC advertising. So it's sort of akin to Amazon cornering the customer right in the checkout line. What does this mean for brands? Well, in my view, Amazon's really not doing itself any favors during all of this talk of anti-competition and antitrust and, more and more politicians and regulators looking into Amazon's business practices. I just don't understand why, for relatively little gain, all things considered, they are continuing to sort of appear to give their own brand special treatment. So if you're in that camp of brands that have been negatively affected by Amazon private label brands and this is upsetting to you, I think the best thing that you can do is really share the posts like this, stories like this, and raise a ruckus around it, and hopefully get Amazon themselves and regulators to understand that this behavior is anti-competitive. News item number 3, Amazon not expanding as fast internationally. Amazon's rate of growth in international markets has lagged North America for some time, which is surprising since the US in particular is a fairly mature market. 50% of all households have Amazon Prime membership, and so you would think that growth would be starting to taper off in the US and Amazon would be seeing more relative growth in its international marketplaces, which it's been aggressively expanding for the last 10 years. But according to Bloomberg's Shira Ovide, she says that growth in international markets hasn't been as strong for one of two reasons. Either Amazon is still sowing the seeds for future success, and Amazon is a very infrastructure-heavy business, so it does take a lot of investment to get up and running in these markets. Or Amazon's international operations are just not working. To give credit where credit's due. These international marketplace expansions are really challenging, and one case here is India, which Amazon is very bullish on and has invested a tremendous amount of time and energy into expanding. But in that country, there are very challenging structural and regulatory issues for big companies like Amazon. So what does this analysis mean for brands? Well, basically, be conservative in estimating the growth that might come from an international expansion strategy. For the last couple of years, Amazon's really been pushing international expansion to its sellers and saying, hey, we can help you with tax, and we can help you with fulfillment, and we can help you with marketing, and look how easy it is to expand. And the truth is that the US market is still growing a lot faster than those international markets. News item number 4, Amazon's private label products are not immune to hijackers. The Verge found several Amazon Basics and other Amazon private label brands have been the victim of hijacking, where another seller uploads unrelated ASINs to a well-performing product listing in the hopes of gaining additional sales. This is a black hat tactic that's been used pretty extensively on Amazon. A lot of brands have experienced this issue where they'll have a really hot product and then suddenly on your product listing for a facial oil, there is now suddenly a product variation for a weighted sleep blanket. And so this has been a real challenge for some brands that have been affected by hijackers. And it turns out that Amazon's own private label brands have also been affected. So at least we know, Amazon is playing on a level playing field with its own platform and technology with this particular brand protection issue. So what does this mean for brands? Have a chuckle and then get back to work. I mean, there is not too much more to read into this than sort of find some entertainment value in this scenario. All right, well, that wraps up this week's Amazon news. I hope that you've enjoyed this quick snippet, and I'll catch you next week.